going down, blessed coming in. He blessed me before, don't doubt he'll do it again. Over and over I see God's blessings falling on me. He loads benefits daily, overflow keeps falling on me.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you came back, so glad you came back. Like I like to always say, that nobody has to do anything for you. So if you came back, it's a blessing and an honor that you have came back. Now we're gonna get right into this message like I always like to do. So we can just get this word in and move forward, okay? And then we can get into my outfit, okay? Today we'll be talking about Job, okay? Like, listen, God had me up in that word, just ministering to me, just talking to me through Job, about Job. And what I want to say is, the topic that I want to discuss is, what happens when God allows the suffering? You hear me? What happens when he allows the suffering? Like, what do you do when God allows the suffering? Because sometimes we like to think that Satan doing this, Satan doing that, but God has to allow it to happen. You know what I'm saying? So Job was an upright man. It said that he was without blame. It said that he was rich. He had riches in family. He had riches in money. He had riches in cattle. He had riches in everything. But God considered Job. You feel me? So that means, that's why I want to ask, what happens when he allows the suffering? What do you do when he allows the sickness? What do you do when he allows the doctor to say the report is, yes, you have, or yes, I'm going through, yes, you sick, yes, this, yes, that. What happens when he allows the suffering? What do you do? Okay. Stick with me and I'll break it down for you. So I'm going to read a little bit of Job. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, it would behoove you to go read Job 1, chapter 1, and just read Job through. And I'm going to start because like I said, Job had cattle. He was an upright man. He was without blame. But I'm going to read at 1 and 6. It said, on the day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. That's 6 and 7. The Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? Satan answered the Lord, from roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it. Then the Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, which means he was an upright man that did right by the Lord. He trusted God, he loved God, and he was faithful to God, okay? Does Job fear God for nothing? That's what Satan replied. Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hand so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face. This is Satan bargaining with God, saying, I bet you he curse you and die if you strike his hand, if you take that hedge, because he said, don't you have a hedge around him? Don't you got him covered? So how I'm supposed to get to him? This is Satan talking to God. He bargaining with God. The Lord said to Satan, very well then, everything he has in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger. God said you could do whatever, but don't lay a finger. Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. So after, God gave permission, allowed Satan to go and search out Job. See, Satan knows, I'm going to put this in our perspective. Satan knows that you're covered by the blood of God. He knows you're covered. So when he goes to God, or when God comes to him and say, have you considered my servant Kenesha? Have you considered her? Because she surely do love me. She surely do have faith in me. Don't that sound good that God trusts you enough that he can tell Satan that you will not curse me, or you will not deny me? You can go ahead and bother her, but don't harm her. But you can do whatever you want to her, but don't harm her. But I trust her enough that you can go allow her to suffer, or you could do the things that you want to do. Just don't harm her. Okay, that feels good to me, that God can tell Satan to allow Satan to do it to me. But what happens when it happens? You know what I'm saying? What do you do when it happens? So naturally, we automatically think, these are my notes that I took down. Naturally, we automatically think that just because God allows it, he is not there Our expectation come with a fairy tale ending. God's expectation come with the impossible. So when I say that our expectations come with fairy tale ending, we think it ain't nothing happening in between. We think it's a happy ending. Everything that we go through is not always gonna be happy moments. It's gonna be hard times. It's gonna be rough times. But what happens when God allows Satan to allow you to suffer? Then what? You know what I'm saying? So God's expectations come with the impossible, through the impossible. So the way we think that something might happen, it might not happen. The way God thinks, we can't think like him. So in his mind, he knows what's gonna happen in the end. So he's like, okay, go ahead and do that to my daughter or my son. Go ahead and do that to him. I guarantee you, the end's gonna be great. Okay, we don't know where the end's gonna be, but all we have to do is trust God and what He has. Is you got to accept what He allows. It's hard, but sometimes you got to accept what God allows because He knows what's best. Okay. What happens when He allows the eviction? The doctor report says yes, the business failed, the friends and family turn on you when you're all alone. What happens? What happens when He allows you to be the sacrifice? What happens when He allows you to be the sacrifice? To be the next one up, like Jesus had to be the sacrifice for us all. What happens when you have to be the next one up? Because quite naturally, we all gonna have to sacrifice some things to get to the other side. What happens? Would you still trust Him if He allows it? Would you still trust Him? Would you still have faith that God is you're still in the will of God? Would you still have faith? Because sometimes we like to think when trouble comes, God is not there. We like to think that it is not His will because we're suffering. Sometimes it's just God's will because that's just the way we have to go. And in the moment, it might not feel good, but He knows what's best, ultimately knows what's best for you. Okay? The closer you get, the clearer the vision. And this is something I heard from God. The further away we stay, our minds can never articulate the vision and plan that God has promised for our life. So the closer we get, the clearer the vision. So the closer we get to God, the closer we get to His presence, the clearer the vision. That's what I got. The further away we stay, our minds can never articulate the vision and plan God has promised for our lives. So we can't see if we're not in His will. We can't see if we don't get closer and get connected and continue to seek Him. We can't see what He has for us. We can't articulate where He's going with it. Okay? You can only see if you open your eyes, and you can only dream, when your eyes are closed. But to live out the dream, you have to have vision. Ah. God said this to me, and I'm saying it to y'all, and it's giving me a clarity of what He's trying to say. You only dream with your eyes closed, but in order to have vision, you have to have sight. You have to see. Come on. Like we can dream, we can have all these dreams and everything, but when you dream, you sleep. But in order to see the vision, you got to have sight. God has a plan and a vision. God has a vision for our lives. So in order for us to see, you got to have sight. You got to have eyes got to be open. You know what I'm saying? To what God has. David said, I once was blind, but now I see. I can see. Like, we be blinded to the certain things around us. We be blinded to the circumstances. We blinded to things around us. But we can't see until we get closer to God, our destiny. Get closer to God. Because that truly, our destiny is truly in God. It ain't in the things that we see. It ain't in the things that we're trying to get to. It's in God. The vision, the sight, the closer, the destiny is in God. It's not in the things that we're trying to get to, because we confuse that with where we want to go. Okay. We have to accept what God allows. How do we know what God allows? That's a question. How do we know what He allows? How do we know? That's a question I'm asking. How do we know what God allows? Because if it's suffering, ain't no way God can allow suffering. You know what I'm saying? Just think about David versus Goliath, the 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace. Just think about Daniel versus the lion in the lion's den. Think about Joseph sold to slavery. Think about Judas sold Jesus for silver. Think about Noah and Noah, Moses versus Pharaoh. Think about Abraham and Sarah, Mary and Joseph. These are true things that happened. It was a destiny that they had to get to so we can be where we are today. They had to go through these things to get to this side, the other side. And for us to see that story, to hear that story today, is we're seeing these stories lived out today. We're learning through these stories how faith has to move. Faith has to be moved. Faith has to move God. You know what I'm saying? We can't allow our circumstances to keep us stagnant. We can't allow circumstances to not let us go to the other side. Because truly, if we're being honest, David's versus that giant, that's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like David facing giants every day. You know what I'm saying? And we're like the three Hebrew boys going through different situations and through the fire. And sometimes we don't look like what we're going through, but God truly developed something in us through that fire. He's breaking the chains off through the fire that we go through, because he has to purge us through the fire to get us to the other side. But what happens when we allow the suffering? Because every allowance is a step closer to our destiny. Accepting what God allows requires obedience, and sometimes it requires sacrifice. What do you do when he allows the suffering? What do you do when God considers you? Have faith and trust in him. When he allows it and you accept it, you can move to your destiny. Because if we don't accept what God allows, we cannot get to the other side. Sometimes the allowance is suffering. Sometimes the allowance is the sickness. Sometimes the allowance is the eviction. Sometimes the allowance is the report of the that you can't get something. A no. Sometimes the allowance is a no. But we got to accept what God allows. The moment you accept what God allows, you can move forward to your destiny. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. I hope this blessed somebody, because it blessed me. To accept what God allows. Sometimes that's a suffering. Sometimes and sometimes it may not be a suffering, but your suffering, and then don't look at it like this. Your suffering may not be someone else's suffering. Everybody has different levels and things that they have to get to, that they have to go through to get to. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's a call in your life. Sometimes anointing is greater than the next. You don't know people's story. You don't know. And their suffering may be that bad for them to get to the other side. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that because such and such ain't going through what you going through, that she ain't got no anointing, or she ain't called by God, or that's not the will of God. Everybody has their own journey to take. Okay. Look at Jesus. I feel like he has the greatest suffering. He bared the greatest thing, the biggest cross to get to the destiny. And the destiny was to so that we can be free. Okay, that's all I got. I hope this bless somebody. I was truly trying to give you the nuggets that God given me. Go read your one. Read your one and answer these questions for yourself. What happens when God allows the suffering? Okay. All right, let's get into my outfit. Okay, today it looks like I got on black, but no, honestly, as you can see in the picture, I have on a dress. It's a black top dress, but you know how the dresses have the split bottom, like a belt. It's like a little belt in the back. I chose to put a blazer on it, make it a little more elegant, and it has pockets in it, okay? And as you can see, the colors in my earrings is the same colors in the bottom of my dress, so I decided to wear these earrings. You probably seen them with another outfit, so I decided to wear these earrings with it. And pop out a little pink on my lip, and decided to wear this necklace just to make it look little cutesy, elegant, classy, okay? Then also, just couple of little bangles today, nothing major. And also I did look green, and then I got on my breast cancer bracelets, okay? I got on the black one and the pink one as well. My shoe is like a small heel today, because I normally wear them long, large, tall heels. It's a little short, stubby heel with a strap around, and I got on me some fishnet stockings. Yes, fishnet stockings always pop out outfits. Whatever you choose to do with your outfit, and I feel like when you add a little stocking to a dress, sometimes it make it look a little classy and look cute, okay? And then I got on this black blazer, okay? And I chose to wear my flower frames because the dress has little flowers in the bottom, okay? There you have it. The girl popped out with confidence, okay? And you know it's with a K, okay? Gotta have that confidence with a K, okay? And if you want to go out on a venture, you can hit me up in my DM. And you know my IG is the_real_confident with a K. You can hit me up in my DM. We can go in your closet. We can go pick up some pieces. We can do it all. Y'all haven't been hitting me up. Your girl been doing this thing for about a couple of months now. I ain't heard from nobody. Obviously, y'all don't trust in my my style. But if you do want to do it, I am open, okay? And if you worry about anything else, don't worry about anything else. If you want to trust me and get in and let me get into your closet, hit me up. You can hit up my Gmail, Konfident styles with a G at gmail.com. Okay, and yes, your girl wanted a little bangs today, little elegant bang. I did this morning just to pop it out a little bit. Got a little baby, little sideburn here too, y'all. Your girl tried to do something with herself today, okay? But that's it. Always be authentically you.
And authentically you. Yes. Unapologetically you.
Be bold, be unique, and be free. Being free is being who you are in Christ, being who you are, purpose to be. Be you. That's the only way you can be free. Because if you're trying to be somebody else, you ain't free. You're bondage. You're bound because you're bound to somebody else's stuff. You be free. Be free in you. Be free in God. Be free in what He purposed you to be. Okay, I love y'all, and that's all I got. Peace.
Bless going down, bless coming in. He blessed me before, don't doubt he'll do it again. Over and over I see God's blessings falling on me.